Sunnyvale, and I really want to welcome and thank everybody for being here today. This is really a great turnout, and thank you for being here. I'm so very glad that we're joined by our Girl Scouts representing various troops within the city of Sunnyvale here. They include daisies, brownies, juniors, and cadets. And at this time, I'd like to invite the Girl Scouts to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's give a big round of applause for the Girl Scouts. As we start our State of the City event, I want to take a moment and remember the victims and families of the police shootings in Dallas. This week has seen terrible tragedy. They have all been a senseless act. My prayers go out to the victims and families and the entire Dallas force, as well as the victims and families in Minnesota and Louisiana. We also want to acknowledge and thank all the members of the police profession and their families as these officers continue to go out into our communities. Our sadness is deepened by the issues involved here, the lack of trust between law enforcement and the community. As a society, we need to find a way to stop all the senseless killings that are happening. Will you all join me for a moment of silence for the police officer victims and their families? Okay, thank you. I want to go ahead and recognize a few elected and former elected officials that are here with us. We're very honored to have California State Assemblyman Rich Gordon here today. We have the Superintendent of Sunnyvale School District, Dr. Ben Picard. We have our Sunnyvale City Manager, Deanna Santana. And I just want to highlight, Deanna, you guys don't know what a jewel we have in the city manager here in Sunnyvale. She really helps make a lot of things that I'm going to talk about happen here in the city. We have Sunnyvale Assistant City Manager, Ken Steffens. We have our Public Safety Chief, Frank Gorgrina. Our Director of Public Works, Manuel Pineda. They're all kind of good. We have former council members and former Mayor Pat Castillo. Former Mayor John Howe. Back over here. And former Mayor Tony Spitaleri. And somebody just told me former Mayor Melinda Hamilton's here as well. Are there any other elected officials down here? Who's that over there? Oh, here. From the Sunnyvale School Board. Nancy Newford. Councilmember Chris Moylan. And our City Attorney John Nagel's here as well. And here we have somebody else from the Sunnyvale School Board. Reed Myers. Fremont Union High School District. Again, thank you all for showing up here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into the program. Welcome everyone and thank you for being here today. It's a beautiful day here in the city and I'm excited that you could all be here. As mayor, I have the honor of delivering this annual speech to let you know the state of our great city. And it is really my honor to tell you that things are indeed awesome here in Sunnyvale. So yeah, I get to brag some. But fortunately, you're not going to have to just take my word for it. There's proof. For starters, the Financial Times selected us as one of their top 10 American cities of the future for 2015-16, calling Sunnyvale small but mighty in comparison to far more sizable cities on the list like New York and Houston. Forbes magazine reported our San Jose, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara metro area as the nation's most innovative tech hub in 2015. And in their annual rankings of the nation's best performing cities, the Milken Institute also ranked our metro area as number 1. They dubbed our economy red hot, noting job growth, particularly in the high-tech service sector. Other factors were a record number of patents, billions in venture capital, and strong annual earnings for our employees. From high-tech to manufacturing to research and development. From innovative startups being spun out of incubators like Plug and Play to high-profile employers like Lockheed Martin, Apple, Yahoo, Google, and NetApp. To be sure, Sunnyvale is the heart of this positive economic performance with a strong and diverse employment base. And whether you're a business or a resident, an employer or an employee, you certainly want to be in a safe community. Here in Sunnyvale, we're fortunate to have that too. Because of our unique integrated public safety model, our officers are highly trained and skilled, making them the best in the business. As a testament to their hard work and dedication, not only do our residents consistently give our public safety services excellent ratings, but Sunnyvale was also recently ranked as America's safest city. So thank you to all our public safety personnel for everything you do for our great city. Let's give them a round of applause. And the leadership that comes from our chief. Another Sunnyvale accomplishment that I'm proud of is being a well-run, fiscally stable city. Our 20-year financial planning model gives us the ability to forecast well into the future and make strategic decisions about our revenues and our expenses. With the benefit of this tool, we once again passed a prudent and balanced budget for the fiscal year. Not only does it keep us on course for maintaining high levels of service for the community, it also addresses significant long-term needs like aging infrastructure and increasing pension costs. To aid in these policy decisions, our City Council has also held strategic planning sessions where we identified the key projects and issues we want our city manager and her staff to focus on. These include improving our infrastructure to ease traffic, modernizing the Civic Center campus and main library, and of course, completing the Sunnyvale Town Center. I'm very pleased to say we've made significant progress thanks to the hard work of our staff. Before I go on, let me pause a moment to recognize all of our city employees because we are a service organization and it is our wonderful employees, many of whom work around the clock, who bring these services to life. Let's give our city employees a big round of applause. Our strategic priorities. We have several key transportation studies in the works. The biggest being the 237-101 Matilda Interchange project, not so affectionately called the Monster Interchange. We continue to work closely with VTA on this and are currently underway with the necessary environmental and traffic reports. This will eventually lead us to selecting one project design that will modify ramps, signals, and turn lanes to both reduce congestion on Matilda and enhance bicycle and pedestrian access. We've also completed an analysis of options to improve the traffic flow at the intersection of Wolf, El Camino, and Fremont. And just last month, the council selected an alternative for staff to proceed in coordination with Caltrans. Equally important is our traffic signal infrastructure, and we have very exciting news here. With the help of a generous $250,000 cost-sharing donation from Google, we are installing an advanced traffic management system over the next 6 to 12 months to help modernize all of our traffic signals citywide. This sophisticated equipment will monitor traffic and adjust the signals in real time to achieve the most efficient traffic flows for vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians. And you guys can go ahead and stop me and clap about any of this stuff that I'm talking about, because I'm actually very proud of it. Related to this, we're updating our traffic management center with a new state-of-the-art equipment that will dramatically improve our ability to monitor and troubleshoot conditions on our roadway. As for our facilities here at the Civic Center, many of you know they are in poor condition and are not adequately able to serve our staff or our community. We're now at the point where we must take action, and so the council made this a strategic priority as well.
Over the past year, we initiated and completed a robust community engagement process to determine land use scenarios and financing options for either renovating or rebuilding. We are now beginning to plan a phased project to address the most urgent needs first on a long-term master plan for the entire campus. On a related note, we have a project to expand the library services into North Sunnyvale with a new branch library at Lakewood Park. We have now kickstarted the design for this project, and staff anticipates being out in the community getting input within the next year. Of course, completing the Sunnyvale Town Center is always the topic that draws a lot of concern from our residents. See, shaking heads. And it remains a front and center priority for us. It can be difficult for people to understand that the city's role in this private development project is actually fairly limited. But where we can be involved, I can tell you we are very active. We've made major projects since the litigation between the owner, Wells Fargo Bank, and the previous developer was resolved last August. Last fall, Wells Fargo moved quickly to market the property for sale and propose a new development team. The city then took action in December to formally acknowledge the team's financial and professional capabilities and began work with the team to update all the necessary project documents. And now, just within the last month, revised development permits and agreements have been approved by the city. Not only does this set the stage for the next phase of the project, it also solidifies new affordable housing requirements for the residential units, ensures our green building requirements are met, and incorporates smart city technology and infrastructure throughout the project. Rest assured, our vision is not just to complete the project, but to complete it as a marquee downtown that Sunnyvale wants and Sunnyvale deserves. All these positive accolades and advancements bode well for the city, but we cannot rest. The fact is that we are the heart of the dynamic and complex Silicon Valley. And like the region as a whole, Sunnyvale continues to grow and evolve, bringing with it normal and expected pressures like affordable housing, traffic, and increased demand for services. To remain a great city, we must continue to engage our community and partners to seek proactive, collaborative solutions. One of our candidates for a commission said it best during her recent interview with the City Council. She said, people don't just live in Sunnyvale, they participate in Sunnyvale. That comment struck accordingly then, and it continues to resonate. Participation at all levels is absolutely essential, and it has been a hallmark of some of the most significant and notable events and actions this past year, whether regional or local. Regionally, Sunnyvale assumed the leadership role to establish the Silicon Valley Community Choice Energy Partnership. This renewable energy partnership is the single most impactful strategy in our climate action plan. It will bring greener energy choices to our community to significantly reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. And I have to say that Councilmember Griffith here was a leader in bringing that forward. After our City Council approved this initial work in partnership with Cupertino, Mountain View, and Santa Clara County, Sunnyvale has been the driving force in the formation. That culminated this last March when the Joint Powers Authority, representing now 12 different communities, was formed. This is a major milestone, and in no way could have been reached so swiftly without tremendous staff work and the collaboration among many partners. Again, let me stop here and take a moment to recognize part of the team. That's the members of the City Council. Many of the things I'm talking about today don't happen until the council votes to make them happen. I get the honor of telling you about these great things, but the reality is they are the results of the vision and votes from the majority of your council members. So I want to say thank you to my partners on the council as we continue keeping Sunnyvale at the forefront. And speaking of being at the forefront, the Santa Clara Valley Water District started construction in April on one of their largest recycled water projects to date, the Wolf Road Pipeline Facilities Project. Say that 3 times. This is yet another project demonstrating Sunnyvale's participation and leadership in sustainability initiatives by extending the distribution of our recycled water, which then conserves precious portable water. Further, it was participation from key partners like Apple and California Water Service Company that helped us assemble the necessary funding to make this significant regional partner project a reality. Another successful regional effort between Sunnyvale and Mountain View was the adoption of an ordinance to raise the minimum wage to $15 by 2018. Just a few days ago, on July 1, the minimum wage in Sunnyvale increased to $11 an hour and will continue to adjust annually. This council action was shaped by immense participation from the community as we heard from residents, business, community activists on the benefits and challenges of raising the minimum wage. Sunnyvale again exemplified participation by working for more than a year with the Santa Clara and dozens of other law enforcement and government agencies to prepare for Super Bowl 50. As a result, this incredibly high-profile event was safe and successful and a true test for regional emergency preparedness. And finally, we continue to lobby for our regional partners like Silicon Valley Leadership Group to advance critical transportation initiatives and obtain the necessary funding to implement them. If voters pass it, the VTA sales tax measure on the ballot this November will raise $6 billion for regional transit infrastructure. It will extend BART to Santa Clara. It provides for grade separations on Warwick Expressway and Caltrain, and it provides for a host of other street repairs and infrastructure improvements. One thing to remember is that these regional projects will also require state and federal funds. And I have been to Washington, D.C. on advocacy trips to get those additional federal funds. The fact that we as a region are willing to tax ourselves in addition to asking for other funds makes our projects much more appealing to the Washington, D.C. decision makers. At the local level, participation takes shape in many ways. For example, we expanded our ordinance to ban smoking in multifamily housing based on community member participation in our study issue process and raising this concern. Community membership also participated in dozens of meetings and workshops throughout the year to provide feedback on projects ranging from traffic calming to the location of the county's cold weather shelter. We also had excellent participation in our standing boards and commissions, as well as project-focused advisory groups like the Lawrence Area Station Plan and El Camino Real Corridor Plan. And I just want to stop here and again thank all our boards and commission members and people who are participating in these commissions. So thank you all. Oh, so you couldn't make a meeting or commit to a team. Maybe you took advantage of our online forum, Open City Hall. Since launching this platform a little more than a year ago, more than 5,600 visitors viewed information on 17 topics, and more than 1,000 people provided responses. Speaking of online, we launched the iGreen Sunnyvale app this year as part of the competition to win the $5 million Georgetown University Energy Competition Prize. Can people raise their hand? Who has the iGreen Sunnyvale app on their phone? Okay. For all those who didn't raise your hand, you can go ahead and you can download it today. You want to participate. This app is a fun way to keep track of the actions that you can take to protect the environment and make Sunnyvale a greener community. Since the January launch, more than 600 users have taken over 36,000 sustainable actions, such as turning off lights, using a reusable bottle, or installing LEDs. And finally, I would be remiss not to mention the amazing community participation in the wake of the April fire at the Twin Pines Manor Apartments on Sunnyvale, Saratoga Avenue. That fire left 70 families suddenly homeless, and the community rallied in support through donations, temporary shelter, and assistance transitioning to new permanent housing. I'd like to particularly thank the team at Sunnyvale Community Services for leading the recovery effort to ensure that everyone had access to the assistance they needed. Because of their hard work, and we're going to talk about Sunnyvale Community Services more later, but because of their hard work and the community's generosity, we're thrilled that all the families are in stable housing, and most are in their new permanent housing. All of this clearly demonstrates how our collective participation and actions can add to a sizable impact. And I will repeat the line from earlier. People don't just live in Sunnyvale, they participate in Sunnyvale. I love the level of participation that people have because it's one of the things that makes Sunnyvale such a great city. In closing, I'm honored to be your mayor and share these highlights with you today. I encourage you to keep the tradition of participation going. Participation needs to happen at all levels. So please take action. Coach a youth sports team. Support your local charities. Volunteer anywhere. Attend a community meeting or workshop. Fill out our surveys. Let us know what's on your mind in person, in writing, or coming to speak to one of our council meetings. It takes all of us participating to shape the outcomes. Yes, the topics are often tough. The issues are complex. Our time is limited, and the decisions are not easy. But in the end, if you participate, we haven't heard until the spectrum of voices that are defined who we really all are and shape where we need to go. We should all be very proud of where we are today as a community, and I see many more accomplishments ahead as we continue working together towards the best possible future for Sunnyvale. So again, thank you for being here today. So it was my pleasure to go ahead and tell you about some of those things that happened in Sunnyvale, but now we get to move on to the really special part, which is the Community Awards presentations. I'd like to invite all of our award recipients to come up and take a seat on the stage. You know who you are. Recognizing and honoring the people who make our community a special place has been a Sunnyvale tradition for 35 years. We began this tradition in 1981 with just a single category, the Distinguished Resident. Over the years, we've added new awards that allow us to recognize people, organizations, and businesses from many facets of our community. I know I speak for my fellow council members when I say that it's truly an honor to be able to be up here and give these awards. Unfortunately for us, we didn't have the challenge of selecting them. That tough task falls to a committee of previous community award winners who have to recommend their choices for this year's recipients from so many wonderful nominees. So first, I'd like to thank the committee for their excellent work as we acknowledge everyone who was nominated. So thank you for that committee. And I'd also like to encourage you to nominate for people for future awards, because we're going to continue to do this annually. I'm sure we all know someone who is making a difference in our city through their time, talents, and commitments. And it is important for us to take time to recognize their achievements. So after the last presentation, I'll be returning to announce and give the Mayor's Award of Excellence. But with this, let me introduce Vice Mayor Gustav Larson, who's going to make our first award presentation. So thank you.
Great, thank you very much. And before I begin, I would like to acknowledge Councilmember Tara Martin-Milius, who was originally planned to give this first award. However, she was unable to be here because of a memorial service in her family. So I know she was very excited about this award, and so we can just keep her in our thoughts. So our first award is for Outstanding Environmental Achievement, which is being presented to Principal Pamela Cheng and the Lakewood Elementary School. So Principal Cheng and the Lakewood students have reduced waste at school and inspired each other to become environmental leaders. In April of this year, Lakewood implemented a zero-waste composting program. This was a pilot program in collaboration with Leadership Sunnyvale's class of 2016 and the City of Sunnyvale. All 440 of Lakewood students from kindergarten through 5th grade pitched in and drastically reduced the amount of waste produced by the school. The composting pilot, and this was a pilot, took place over just 5 weeks. In that short time, students diverted nearly 2,000 pounds of food scraps from the landfill. They recycled 12.5 cubic yards of milk cartons and reduced the school's garbage costs by 58%. Yes, very impressive. Each week, trained students monitored their classmates as they separated food scraps from garbage and recycled their milk cartons. They also encouraged classmates to donate uneaten food to the share table for any students who might still be hungry. Keeping food waste out of the landfill helps reduce the production of greenhouse gases. And as one student monitor said, if it all goes to the landfill, it'll just make more heat. So knowing that the food scraps would eventually become animal feed made the students especially careful about keeping non-edibles like plastics out of the compost bin. After processing, the 1 ton of food scraps diverted from the landfill produced 200 gallons of recyclable water, 20 gallons of cooking oil for biofuel, and 500 pounds of animal feed. And this is in just 5 short weeks. Yes. And those 12.5 cubic yards of milk cartons, remember those earlier? That's equivalent to 4 3-cubic yard dumpsters. 4 dumpsters in 5 weeks, yes. So this program is sustainable in every sense. Each year, experienced students will teach the process to a new kindergarten class to keep the process moving forward. And Lakewood has set an example for other Sunnyvale schools. A zero-waste composting program will begin at Cumberland Elementary School this fall with Cherry Chase at Valle. And I have to tell you, at a number of community meetings I've attended, I've had a number of parents at other schools, not even these, come up to me and say, hey, when can my school get started on this program? So there's a lot of interest in doing this community-wide. All of Lakewood students can take pride in knowing that their actions make a difference for the environment, and that they can lead the way in helping others to do so as well. So for their success in reducing waste and forging the next generation of environmental leaders, I am very pleased to present Pamela Cheng and the students of Lakewood Elementary School with the Outstanding Environmental Award Achievement. I have a proclamation here, or certificate of commendation from the County of Santa Clara as well. And a reusable Sunnyvale mug. And Principal Cheng, would you like to say a few words? I can hold those. You're good? Okay.
Thank you so much for this honor and the recognition, and I really want to extend my thanks to the community. It really is because Sunnyvale is a city where people not just live but participate that actually brought this whole program to our school. The leadership team and Sandy Jensen approached us and really helped us set the whole thing up and supported us all the way through. All our kids, 440 of them, recycled, loved it, and was so proud. They got to see videos and presentations of everything that they saved from going into the landfill. It's been an honor to be part of this project, and we couldn't have done it without Sandy and the leadership team. So I'm proud to accept this on behalf of the students and staff at my school, but really thank you also.
So before we move on to our next award, I have a few special announcements to make. And I hope we can all take inspiration from Lakewood students who have shown how simple yet meaningful changes can have a very big impact. You heard Mayor Hendricks talk in his speech about the success of the iGreen Sunnyvale app. Since it launched in January, more than 600 users, myself included, have shared 3,600 sustainable actions like installing LED lights and drinking from reusable bottles. Well, today we're launching a new competition as a friendly challenge between Sunnyvale's neighborhoods. The iGreen Sunnyvale Neighborhood Challenge starts today and goes through July 17th. So we encourage all of you to download the iGreen Sunnyvale app from either the Apple or Android store, join your neighborhood team, and also invite your friends and neighbors to participate. And in fact, your team gets points for getting your neighbors to join up as well. Then be sure to share all of your sustainable actions so that your neighborhood team gets the points. We'll make our community greener and keep Sunnyvale in the running for the $5 million prize from the Georgetown Energy Competition. Very important thing to do, and I actually wanted to do a live demonstration because I walked here today instead of driving, so I pull out my phone, go to the iGreen Sunnyvale app where I go to the transportation category, and there's something called Walkabout. Your feet were made for walking. Set them free. Wherever you go, buzz if you walk instead of driving. So I will tap on there and buzz, and just like that, it's good. So for all the green things that we all do every day, or for reminders of what else you could be doing, please download the app and use it every day. So my second announcement is that we now know the lucky winners of our first Go Green stroller and bike decorating contest. Yes. So we had, that contest took place earlier this morning, just before this presentation. And these contestants really showed their showed their creativity and also leadership, but especially creativity, because they could only decorate with recycled or reusable materials. So now, let's announce the winners, and we'll have them, the winners come up on stage here. There are steps over to my left, your right, and we'll have an award for you. So in third place, we have a tie, Rachel Cutler and Haley Cutler. Let's give them a round of applause as they come up here. And I see they're actually bringing their award-winning decorations, so we get to see. Okay. Oh, and I'll give you your goodie bags right now. So here you go. Okay, and yes, another round of applause. And in second place, we have Anushka Freeman. Is Anushka here? And we've got a goodie bag for you as well. And our first place winner, drum roll please, is Linda Krelovs. Is Linda here? Right, okay. So congratulations to all of our award winners. These are fabulous creations. Yeah, I hope that goes on Facebook right away. Our next award is for Outstanding High School Senior, which is being presented to Mansa Kandarpa. And Mansa could not be here today, so receiving the award on her behalf is Sue Larson, Communications Coordinator for the Fremont Union High School District. When Mansa came to Homestead High School as a member of the class of 2016, she was already a well-rounded student. During her time in high school, her academic and athletic achievements, her leadership, and her caring for others have shown that she is truly a well-rounded person. She took honors classes in science, math, English, history, and government, but also took on artistic pursuits like ceramics. Before her graduation this spring, Mansa served as the class of 2016's vice president for the past 3 years. 3 years in a row. Yes, very impressive. In that role, she impressed teachers with skillful negotiation with her peers. She learned how to find just the right compromise when, for example, students would propose edgy ideas, but the adults had concerns. Her talent for teamwork goes beyond student politics. For 13 years, Mansa played soccer for both her school and an elite girls' soccer league. She's a formidable force on the field in both her athleticism and her leadership. As a center defensive midfielder, she kept calm under pressure and helped guide her team. The sport that she loves also led Mansa to seek a career in bioengineering, focusing on tissue engineering. Sports injuries meant that Mansa spent a lot of time with doctors. She was inspired by the care they took in explaining her injuries and helping her to heal. She was drawn to bioengineering to help others. The field will allow her to unite her love of science with her passion for athletics. During her time at Homestead, Mansa gave back to her school and her community. For 2 summers, she volunteered as a soccer coach for the Kick, Lead, and Dream Camp for at-risk youth. As a top high school athlete, she not only shared her techniques on the field with her younger charges, but she also helped reinforce lessons of leadership, teamwork, and integrity. Mansa served as a tutor for a class designed for students struggling with algebra. She acted as an additional teacher in the classroom and worked with students to help them understand the material. She became a mentor to her younger schoolmates and continues to stay in touch with some of these students, lending them further support in their schoolwork. For her many contributions to fellow students at Homestead High School and her leadership on and off the field, I am pleased to present Mansa Kandarpa as this year's Outstanding School Senior. And I know the school district is hoping to honor her as well later on. So I will present this award to Sue. And again, we have a certificate of commendation from the County of Santa Clara and a reusable Sunnyvale mug. And Sue, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you. Good morning. My name is Sue Larson. I'm the communications coordinator with the Fremont Union High School District. Unfortunately, Mansa is out of town. I know she is thrilled to have been selected for such a special honor. She would, I'm sure, want me to pass along her heartfelt thanks. Together with Fremont Union High School District Board of Trustee President Hun Wei, we are thrilled to accept this honor on her behalf. Thank you.
And next, I'd like to present our award for Outstanding Contribution to the Arts, which is being presented to Warren Scott. Warren is a music teacher whose work resonates with students and inspires them. In his 3 years as Columbia Middle School's music director, music programs have seen increased enrollment and consistently received honors at competitions. Currently, more than a quarter of Columbia's 730 students are enrolled in music, with many more hoping to sign up. Warren, yes. Warren goes the extra mile to ensure that each of his students gets the best music education. Now, many students cannot afford to buy or rent an instrument, so Warren and Columbia principal Mary Beth Allman applied to the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation and recently received a grant of instruments worth almost $16,000. Yeah. Now all students will have high-quality instruments to use during their time at Columbia. The strength of the school's music program was considered key in securing this grant. To make sure every student could travel to the Anaheim Heritage Music Festival, which is a music competition for youth, Warren led students in coordinating fundraisers. He also joined parents on a nonstop 14-hour day of selling concessions at Levi's Stadium. Wow. Were you there for the whole 14 hours? Wow. That's dedication. Columbia students all shone in their performances at the festival, with both the band and the orchestra taking first place and the choir taking third place. The students also received valuable feedback and an on-stage lesson from the panel of judges. Colleagues say that Warren strives to instill a sense of belonging and empowerment in his students. And as one student said, he loves these kids as much as they love him. When Columbia students graduate, many of them move on to Fremont High School, and Warren prepares his students to perform at that next level. Together with his counterpart at Fremont, he organizes joint concerts throughout the year featuring both schools' music groups. These collaborative performances are favorites of Columbia and Fremont students alike. And Columbia's musicians are well prepared when they graduate. Fremont High School music director Joe Kelly says, "The students he sends me yearly are not just good musicians, but also great young people." So for his exemplary leadership and dedication to our next generation of musicians, I am pleased to present Warren Scott this year's Outstanding Contribution.
I can only do what I do because of the people that I'm surrounded by. I have an amazing principal in Mary Beth Allman, an amazing leadership team at the district who support me in what I do, and I have amazing parents who come forward each day to help support me in what I do. And the greatest resource of all is the wonderful students that I get to work with every day. They inspire me, they make me a better person, and they make me a better teacher. So this award is for them and the amazing young people that they are. And we're probably going to be up over 250 this coming school year. So.
And now I'd like to introduce my colleague on council, Councilmember Jim Davis, who will present the next award. Councilmember Davis.
Fortunately for me, my wife tells me on a daily basis, he says, "Honey, can you tone it down a little bit? I can already hear you all the way out in the kitchen." I shouldn't have a problem with that for Mike. I want to tell you a little story about the first presentation I'm here to make. And that's in regards to the Outstanding Business Person Award. It was back in 1989. I was a young man then. And I walked downtown Sunnyvale to my favorite pizza parlor, which was DJ Pizza, to enjoy one of their beautiful pies and take it home with me. A couple days later, I went back to fulfill my need for pizza and found the DJ's was no longer there. I was in a great quandary. It was a couple days after that, I was in downtown Sunnyvale, sitting with friends, and discussing where am I going to get my next pizza. And son of a gun, we found out that a new restaurant had opened in DJ's place. It was Goomba's Restaurant de Italia. My good friend Bobby Sadre was the initial owner of the project, and I was very happy to tell you that he fulfilled my pizza need. And as you can tell, I've been eating there on a regular ongoing basis. 2012, a young man, Max, Max came to Goomba's to take over for Buddy. To bring Goomba's Pizza Parlor, Restaurante, to a new era. We had a restaurant that was steeped in old land tradition. We had some nice pictures on the wall and some garlic hanging from the ceiling, and we were selling a lot of food. Because it was interesting, in the 28 years that Goomba's has been there, they've survived the good times as well as the bad times. And Max has come now to our doors, and he has changed the face of Goomba's. We're now into the 21st century, where Max is involved in bringing this online so that you can order your meal at lunchtime and have it delivered to you over the internet. That's one of those new inventions that they just came up with this year. Then he's also one of our largest contributors and one of the best entrepreneurs in our downtown family. He's noted for his community donating food, helping with fundraisers for a wide variety of organizations, including Fremont High School Band Boosters, Cupertino de Anza Lions Charities, Northwest YMCA, and the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. Now we're back to it works again. As a member of the Sunnyvale Downtown Association, Max also donates food to events such as the annual holiday tree lighting. Max, I've been there for the last 4 years. I haven't gotten any food,
No joke.
Would you take care of me this Christmas, okay?
We will.
I'll be out there on the little bench. And although Goomba's continues its well-loved traditions, Max has also drawn inspiration from this time in the tech industry to expand the business and reach customers online. Max has a interesting history. His family was in the bakery business, and that was where he first learned, the importance of hard work and diligence in regards to preparing and promoting a business that served, and again, donuts. For his commitment to the community, skill in balancing tradition with the tech savvy, I'm pleased to present Max Valle with the Business Person of the Year award. And needless to say, we have a certificate from Santa Clara County noting Max and Goomba's activities in our community. Max, congratulations.
On behalf of my team at Goomba's Restaurant, we want to thank the city officials. We want to thank Mr. Jim Davis, and we want to thank especially all of our Sunnyvale residents and Sunnyvale customers. Goomba's love Sunnyvale. This is a great city to do business in. It's a great city to donate organizations to that operate here in Sunnyvale. And we have a thrill. We love what we do, making good food, making great events. We're just thrilled to receive this award. And once again, this award, on behalf of my team at Goomba's, I have a great team. They work very hard. We're open 7 days a week. On weekends, we're open breakfast, brunch, lunch, and dinner. So we thank you. I see a lot of familiar faces, and some of you come either every day or a few times a week. And we have a few customers that come a few times a day. So we're thrilled. We really enjoy being part of Sunnyvale. And thank you, Mr. Jim Davis.
Thank you for reminding me of that, although I might have had another nice addition to my coffee cup collection. So we now move on to another very important award in our community, and that's Outstanding Educator Award. And Colleen Lynch Espinoza is the winner of this award, but unfortunately she could not be with us today. In her place, Dr. Ben Picard, Superintendent of the Sunnyvale School District, is going to be receiving her award. Colleen has built a community in her kindergarten class at San Miguel Elementary School. Students come to Colleen's class speaking many different languages, and at the end of the year they leave speaking fluent Spanish and English. Colleen teaches the Juntos Dual Immersion Spanish-English program at San Miguel, which has completed the first year at our beautiful elementary school. Throughout the school day, most of the instruction the students receive is in Spanish. Colleen also has a talent for tapping into each student's personal strengths. She knows how to engage students. Her classroom is a joyful place where children learn through engaging conversation and activities that use all of their senses. The Juntos program was considered one of the contributing factors in San Miguel Elementary's receiving a California Gold Ribbon School Award this year. Colleen herself was recognized by the Sunnyvale School District as the Teacher of the Year for 2015-2016. Her colleagues describe her as a genuine, thoughtful, caring person, someone who is passionate about serving the San Miguel community. Colleen gives her time outside the classroom too, spending many additional hours serving in San Miguel's leadership team, which sets goals for the school. As an educator, Colleen brings out the potential of each student and has created a classroom environment where everyone is excited to learn. For that, and for her dedication to her students and the school, I am pleased to present to Colleen Lynch Espinoza the Outstanding Educator of the Year Award. And so that I don't forget, now that's for Colleen, that's the other one for you. On behalf of the city, and on behalf of Santa Clara County, they too want to recognize Colleen's many contributions to education. The Jim Griffith.
May I say something?
Oh,
no. You put a superintendent of schools in front of me.
So much I just forgot. Yeah. I gave the cup though, didn't I?
You did. I got the cup.
You got the cup?
So you put a superintendent of schools in front of a microphone, he has to say something, right? So, I'm thrilled to accept this on behalf of Colleen. She is a wonderful teacher. I'm proud to say that we hired her, so she's does a terrific job at San Miguel Elementary School. She's traveling and unable to be here today, but we will make sure that she is the recipient of the coffee mug and all the other awards at our back to school assembly at our kickoff on August 15th. So thank you very much.
Thank you for Dr. Picard for keeping me in line. I appreciate that. I got the audience, I got people up here on the dais that are helping me out. I'm old and it takes a lot of work. Our next community award is Outstanding Community Volunteer, and it will be presented by my good friend and colleague, Jim Griffith.
Thank you. It's my honor to present Outstanding Community Volunteer this year, which is going to Barbara Schmidt. In case you haven't figured it out, this is not Barbara. This is Barbara's husband, Harrow. So for the duration of this presentation, I want you to just imagine that he's a woman about 4 inches shorter. So. Barbara is a devoted volunteer. I should clarify, Barbara had to be out of town today. She was unable to attend. She wanted to, and she sends her regrets. Barbara is a devoted volunteer who is always ready to help local schools in her community. During the time she has volunteered at Homestead High School, 2 generations of Barbara's family have passed through the school. Although her children, as well as her grandchildren, have graduated, she continues to volunteer at Homestead. She has given countless hours of her energy and talents to a variety of Homestead events each year, including Back to School Night, the Staff Appreciation Breakfast, and the Graduation Cookie Reception. During the past school year, she was instrumental in organizing the Every 15 event at Homestead, which teaches high school juniors and seniors about the dangers of drunk driving. The event, which took place over 2 days, required months of extensive planning. Whether it's a long-term project or a spur-of-the-moment call for volunteers, Barbara is always there. Recently, volunteers proved difficult to find for an event taking place during the busy last few weeks of school. When organizers contacted Barbara about volunteering, she happened to be on vacation. But when she learned how desperately volunteers were needed, she cut short her vacation to come to help. It's easy to see why her fellow volunteers say that no matter what, they can always count on Barbara. For 4 years, Barbara has also given her time as the vice chair of Sunnyvale's Housing and Human Services Commission. Barbara left that commission when her term expired in June, but she's not taking a break. We just recently appointed her to be on the Personnel Board. And I will just add that in my 7 years on council, that was one of the easiest appointments I ever had to make. The Housing Commission certainly benefited from Barbara's involvement, and I'm delighted that she's continuing her service to the city. For her giving spirit, her selflessness in dedicating her time and talents to the Homestead High School and the people of Sunnyvale, I am pleased to present Barbara Schmidt as Outstanding Community Volunteer.
I'm gonna say a word. My wife asked me to read a statement so that she gets her words to you. And next year, since we are such a high-tech city, I expect a big screen for video conferencing so that she can do her speech herself. Good morning, everyone. Is it still morning? Yeah. As a resident of Sunnyvale for 29 years, I'm extremely honored to be receiving such an important award, the 2016 Outstanding Community Volunteer of the Year. I'm very grateful for the recognition I have received for my volunteer work, because I'm very sure that every other nominee for this award was as deserving of winning it. I want to thank Nina Wong-Dotkin, if she is here, for nominating me for this honorary award. Nina and I were brought together through her volunteer work at Homestead High School as a PTSA hospitality president. I want to thank the award committee for selecting me for this outstanding award. Also, I would like to make a special mention of Sunnyvale Housing and Human Services. While serving as a commissioner on the board, it helped to define for me the phrase, "Giving can go a long way." My time serving on the board has enhanced my respect and appreciation for the other volunteers throughout our community who give their time generously every day without expecting anything in return. Again, thank you, Barbara Schmidt.
Our next award is for Distinguished Resident, which is being presented to Ken Bruce. It was amazing, for those of you that were here earlier, he walked in and the entire room started clapping again. I didn't even get that kind of a reception. Ken is a Sunnyvale resident and longtime local history teacher who makes history come alive for his students. He began his 42-year career teaching history at Los Altos High School. After a decade, he moved on to De Anza College, where he taught for more than 30 years. Ken was a contributor to the California History Center at De Anza, which has been a key resource for documenting our local history. It was through a De Anza program that Ken came to teach U.S. and California history classes for Sunnyvale seniors. The classes eventually became part of Sunnyvale's recreation program for older adults. Ken has been teaching history to Sunnyvale seniors for 30 years now. His classes are so well liked, in case you didn't notice, that some of the seniors have attended them for years. In fact, one of the students he taught at Los Altos High is now attending his seniors history class as a senior. Each week, up to 100 students attend his current series of classes about America's First Ladies, which explore what was happening in the country when they occupied the White House. Ken helps his students understand historical figures as more than just names in a book, but as real people that they can often identify with. He presents the facts with humor and drama. Seniors with mobility, visual, or hearing concerns feel comfortable in class, and Ken's teaching brings them back each week. He devotes many hours to preparing for class, researching lessons, analyzing different perspectives, and creating visual and written outlines for students. Ken says that something he especially enjoys about teaching seniors is that there's often someone in the class who is present at a major historical event, or knows someone who was, which offers an exciting first-hand perspective. But he also points out that everyone, every day, is living through what becomes history. Our community has been fortunate to have Ken here, both to help us understand our more distant history and to be part of Sunnyvale's history as it continues to unfold each day. For his many contributions over the years to educating our residents of all ages and his dedication to Sunnyvale's senior community, I am pleased to present Ken Bruce as our distinguished resident.
Thanks. I think it's a pleasure, and I appreciate the honor. And I'd like to thank all the students that came here. You're sick people, but that's okay. It's a delight to have you here. And again, I'd like to thank the City of Sunnyvale for the honor. I have pleasure. Thank you.
Next up to present the Mayor's Award of Excellence is Mayor Glenn Hendricks.
Hi again. It is Sunnyvale's tradition for the mayor to select a recipient for the Mayor's Award of Excellence and announce it here at the State of the City. So it is my honor to be here with you and share that this year's recipient is Sunnyvale Community Services. And I'm delighted that Marie Bernard, their Executive Director, is here to accept the award. Maybe you should have a seat because I got a lot of stuff to say. I have a lot of stuff to say. For those of you who may not be aware, Sunnyvale Community Services is a local nonprofit agency that provides food, financial assistance, and other emergency aid to the most needy members of our society here in Sunnyvale. They are truly an invaluable safety net for low-income residents and seniors in our city facing temporary crises. The fact is that many of us tend to think of Sunnyvale as a well-to-do community, but the reality is that we have many people living here who are homeless, don't have enough to eat, or just need help managing through a financial difficulty. I first heard about Sunnyvale Community Services in 2008 when I was taking the Leadership Sunnyvale program. We spent a whole day at Sunnyvale Community Services learning about the needs for services in Sunnyvale and the various programs that are available here in the area. I was so impressed with what they were doing that my wife and I immediately became financial supporters and have been so ever since. Sunnyvale Community Services is able to provide so many services because of their dedicated employees, passionate volunteers, and essential financial and in-kind support. SCS currently would not be as successful as it is without literally thousands of people from the community who volunteer their time and treasure to help our fellow residents. And before we go any further, let's have a huge round of applause for all of those volunteers. Today, I could be giving this award to Sunnyvale Community Services because of their weekly and monthly food and produce distribution programs, or their summer food program for school-age children, or their annual backpack program that gives children school supplies and shoes, or their partnership with other agencies to provide health, nutrition, and case management services to low-income families, seniors, and veterans, or their much-loved and much-needed community Christmas center where families receive gifts for their home and children and extra food during the holidays. All of these things are certainly worthy of an award. But it is all of these things, plus their above and beyond response to the Twin Pines Manor apartment fire, and just clinched it for me. On April 15th this year, that large apartment complex on Sunnyvale-Saratoga Avenue caught fire and was uninhabitable. In an instant, it left 71 families homeless. Many things happened that day. Sunnyvale Public Safety responded to the fire, kept it from spreading, and saved people from their apartments. The city and Red Cross responded with an emergency shelter in the days that followed the fire. And the community, you the community, responded with donations to help the victims get back on their feet. But it was Sunnyvale Community Services that responded the first day and is still responding 95 days later. And they're going to continue to respond until every last family is in permanent and stable housing with the support that they need. It has been Sunnyvale Community Services that have provided not only hope, but the reality of putting their lives back together. I was at the emergency shelter along with several members of the council, and we were able to see firsthand the fear and helplessness that people have in their eyes. I was also able to witness that fear change to hope and thankfulness as we found them temporary housing. And then as we get regular reports from Sunnyvale Community Services as they work to get people into the long-term housing. The fire was a huge event here in Sunnyvale. It was unprecedented how many families became homeless in an instant. The fire could become a story of mass homelessness. Instead, it's become a story of how our community, working with an outstanding partner like Sunnyvale Community Services, can solve problems here in our community. And by the way, Sunnyvale Community Services took on housing the victims of the fire and did not skip a beat with all of their other customers or clients. Sunnyvale Community Services is a non-governmental agency, or an NGO. We sometimes hear about NGOs working in some faraway place in the world, and we are fortunate to have such a great organization here in our community. It's terrible that we need such an organization, but it's great that they're here. I consider Sunnyvale Community Services a jewel in our community. They're an asset for the people here who need help the most. This award is the least I can do to recognize the hard work and dedication that Sunnyvale Community Services and its volunteers do for our community. Earlier today I said people don't just live in Sunnyvale, they participate in Sunnyvale. Sunnyvale Community Services is the living embodiment of this idea. I want to end my comments by mentioning leadership. Sunnyvale Community Services excels because of the members of the team, but the team needs a leader, and that's Marie. She does an excellent job of marshaling resources and getting quality members on her team. She works to create the structures that enables all the volunteers. She provides a vision and infectious passion for helping people in our community. And she does this all with a smile that brightens all of our days and inspires us to do more. Well, let's show it to her. For all of this, I am giving Sunnyvale Community Services the 2016 Mayor's Award of Excellence, and accepting it is Marie. Before we go ahead and give her awards, I want to go and ask Assemblyman Gordon if he wanted to come up and say something as well.
Thank you. This year, the California Legislature inaugurated a new program. We, in the past, have honored a Veteran of the Year. We've honored Small Business of the Year. This year, we inaugurated a program to honor a nonprofit of the year. And I had the privilege of trying to select a single nonprofit to represent the 24th Assembly District that runs from Menlo Park here to Sunnyvale. Within that area, there are literally thousands of nonprofits. but my decision was quick and simple, knowing the work that Sunnyvale Community Services does. So it was my honor and privilege to select Sunnyvale Community Services as the inaugural recipient of the Assembly District 24 Nonprofit of the Year. And Marie, on that day in Sacramento, I had to apologize because there had been a problem with the state printer, and I had to give you a temporary little certificate thing. I got the real thing here today. So I want to present you the official resolution honoring Sunnyvale Community Services. It's always kind of hard to follow, Rich. But we have a couple other things here. We have the Mayor's Award of Excellence. Is there a recycle thing? We're going to set this right here because your hands are going. We have a certificate here from the county. I can tell these are the hot items. I see this anyway. But what I'd also like to do is I'd like to present to Sunnyvale Community Services a key to the city. So keys to the city are presented to our esteemed visitors, residents, and others we wish to honor. The key symbolizes the freedom of the recipient to enter and leave the city at will as a trusted friend of the residents and Marie.
The mayor has given me the mic. Oh boy. I'm very overwhelmed with emotion. I frequently am these days because I'm standing in the city where I live, where I love to be, and where I have so many friends and partners. The mayor talked about participation, and I also thought of the word relationships, because the night of the evening of the fire, the mayor called me at home and said, we've got a big issue here. And what I witnessed for the next 2 days of people from the city government, from the city council, from every possible corner of Sunnyvale coming to help the families who were in need. And I was amazed at how prepared we were for the unexpected. The fact that people were able to pick up a phone and say, please come down here. And I was also amazed at the decisiveness of everybody that was around me, because our city and the Red Cross and our public safety officers acted right away and made sure that for the first few days, these families were safe, they had a place to stay. Our city acted, our city made sure that everybody who needed a hotel room had a place to stay by Sunday afternoon. And I have to give a shout out to Deanna Santana. She is a marvelous leader in every sense of the word. She really made her team know that the decisions that were being made because she kept saying we have to treat people with dignity. They just lost their homes. They have to get up and go to work in the morning. We had students who needed to get up and take AP exams on Monday morning, and she wanted to make sure that they were safe. But what happened also was that was the sprint. It was an amazing feat. And on Monday morning, our staff at Sunnyvale Community Services took over the long-term case management of all those families. And that was the marathon that we had to run. And we were prepared for that, even though on Monday morning we were expecting 900 families to come for produce. And we had a full lobby of people who needed help with financial aid, who hadn't been in the fire. And so I have to thank the amazing staff at Sunnyvale Community Services, many of them are here, for doing what needed to be done with grace, with calm, and with wonderful compassion every day, and especially on that Monday. So thank you all to the staff. And folks, wave, come on, wave. our board leadership who made it possible for me to make decisions knowing that they had my back. They were in front and on all sides. We have a number of our board members, past and current, here, so if you could just wave, including Julia, our board president. Thank you all. Because without that leadership and that forward thinking, being prepared, we could not be here in our city since 1970. And finally, I'm looking around and you all look familiar, or if you haven't been volunteering with us, please join our squad of 2,000 volunteers. We could not do this without having the amazing force in our city of people. Sometimes they come once a week, several times a week, and often they come in a group and then decide that they're going to stay with us. We are really the passion in our city. The people who come and give with their time and their talent. It is an amazing thing to see. Whether you're bagging groceries or answering the phone or collecting toys or looking around and seeing what needs to be done to welcome our clients, we are so, so grateful here. So on behalf of our Sunnyvale Community Services since 1970, on behalf of all those volunteers and the thousands of clients who come every day, and also on behalf of those families who are safely sheltered, most of them have been moved into housing, and half of them have been able to stay in Sunnyvale, which is an amazing feat given the price of housing. I thank you very much, and we love having the key to the city, and we hope it works in the new Civic Center.
So thank you very much, Marie, and congratulations again to all of our recipients. So that concludes the recognition portion of today's program. I hope that you're going to continue to stay and enjoy many of the activities that we have here going on around you. This is truly something for everyone this year. We have Bollywood dance performances, food trucks, tours of the City Hall, a kids zone, demonstration, information booth, and I believe there's even the Earthquakes mascot Q is walking around. The best way to find out about everything here is to download the app we have. If you have any challenges or problems you need, we have a bunch of young people over here who can go ahead and help you with that. The app has a game or features things that you can go ahead and do. One of them is going ahead and being able to go find members of the council here. And be able to get pictures with them and take selfies. So I'm going to go ahead and do it right here. I'm going to take my selfie with all of you guys for what goes on. Before I let you go, I just want to let you know there are a select number of free food vouchers. They're going to be handed out by the food trucks here if you go ahead and go over there. And then behind me here, they're going to be starting tours of the Civic Center if you'd like to see more about what the Civic Center looks like. I am really thankful that everyone came down for our event today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed being able to hear a small sample of the stories of some of the great fellow residents that you have in the city and the things that they're doing every day. So